Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Cortensia Carty. And we have made it to the end of another week, and welcome to our Friday show.
That's first Friday in February, so if you think of it in terms of 2Fs, I'd like to say that for those of you who didn't accomplish your objectives in January, consider it an opportunity to fail forward again, double F. So that's exactly what I'm doing on this Friday morning. We proceed now to the latest in local news. This from SKNIS. Reformed persons exiting the prison system now have a greater opportunity to become productive citizens following a new initiative introduced by the St. Kitts and Nevis Cabinet of Ministers, led by Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. Released inmates who are members of the rehabilitation program will be attached to the Skills Training Empowerment Program, or STEP, or a similar program where they can gain employment to support themselves and their families. Virgil Hodge, rehabilitation officer at His Majesty's Prison, HMP, applauded the government for introducing this measure. Officer Hodge stated, quote, "It will reduce the recidivism rate, and so I think it is a good initiative, a good pilot project that the government is using to help young men and women," end quote. The senior prison official added that 2 young men from the program were recently employed. One was attached to a government program while the other worked with a private company.
That's good. We continue now. This from Within Media. The St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board has been providing sickness, maternity, invalidity, and age benefits to insured persons and their families of St. Kitts and Nevis for 45 years. The theme this year is Transform, Reform, Thrive, Social Security 45. And to celebrate, various activities, including a church service, awards gala, and more will be held. According to the annual actuarial review, the Social Security Board is set to reform the fund's structure to enhance its relevance and sustainability. One significant reform focuses on the age pension, which suggests to A. Increase the pensionable age to 65, B. Increase the number of years over which wages are averaged for pension calculations, C. Revise the scheduled accrual rate to eliminate the heavy waiting for the first 10 years and instead have a more gradual increase to the maximum of 60% after 40 years. And D, change from an age benefit to a retirement benefit so that one's employment or income status after pensionable age is reached affects whether the pension is payable.
Right, and in other news, this from SKNIS. The St. Kitts Energy Unit, in collaboration with International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, held a training exercise on the use of the Solar City Simulator for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on January 31st. The Solar City Simulator is a web-based simulator application created to help households, businesses, and municipal authorities evaluate their prospects for generating electricity using rooftop-mounted solar voltaic systems. Energy officer in the St. Kitts Energy Unit, Nasio Frank, said that the 18 stakeholders who participated were very engaged with the training exercise. He added that, quote, "IRENA went through the simulator using live examples from St. Kitts. They were able to simulate a project on a roof in the Bastier area, showing the production and performance of the project and an estimated cost of the project," end quote. He also stated that the stakeholders will test the simulator and give their feedback based on their own experience in installing this equipment.
Now for the weather forecast. It is partly cloudy with a high of 79 and a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Regional and international news up next. Stay tuned.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN as we continue and now with the latest in regional news. This from Loop Caribbean. 2 Antiguans could end up spending up to 25 years in prison for allegedly smuggling 12 Indian nationals into the island. Sometime recently, local Coast Guard reportedly impeded a boat which was carrying 11 adults and 1 child who were reportedly coming from Dominica. It is said that the police found Alvin Godwin of Grace Farm, Antigua, driving the boat, which reportedly belonged to Parham resident Kevon Crump. The duo was subsequently arrested and charged with human trafficking and conspiring to traffic humans. They both appeared before a magistrate on Tuesday and were placed on a $200,000 bond and were told to pay $50,000 to secure their temporary release. Their travel documents were also taken and they are required to sign in at a police station near them a couple of times each week. The 11 adult immigrants were also arrested for entering the country illegally and were fined $1,000 each last week. They have since been repatriated. Wow.
All right, the kind of thing you see in movies. In any event, it's near our shores. Moving on to the international scene, this from the Good News Network. In the future, millions of artificial dandelion seeds carrying pollen could be dispersed freely by natural winds and then steered by light towards specific areas with trees or flowers awaiting pollination. A prototype has already been developed by Tampere University's Light Robots group, who use smart materials to create soft-bodied robots capable of moving themselves around via environmental stimuli rather than hard circuitry. Light enough to be carried by the winds, the robot could be a game changer for almonds, apples, and other flowers in the face of declining pollinator populations. Io Zhang, the group leader, explains, quote, "This would have a huge impact on agriculture globally since the loss of pollinators due to global warming and, well, there we go again, let's try that. Since the loss of pollinators due to global warming, has become a serious threat to biodiversity and food production," end quote. A backdrop to this invention is the development of similar responsive polymers, which have brought about a wealth of opportunities for next-generation, small-scale, and wirelessly controlled soft-bodied robots. So robots are changing the face of agriculture.
They are indeed.
Very exciting. All right, well, there you have it for the latest for today. We will be back in a moment with more GMSKN. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
It's Infused Friday. Welcome to today's recipe. But before we get into that, let me give you some information about the benefits of H2O. Infused water adds more to your H2O. It not only gives you the same refreshed feeling that water does, but it adds flavor and nutritional benefits. Adding different combinations of herbs, fruits, and spices to your water can lead to endless combinations that are not only delicious, but extremely good for you. Helping to control bloating, because many women suffer from bloating due to excess salt or hormonal fluctuation. Water-rich foods such as lemon cucumber can help control this problem. How does this link into relaxation? Well, if you infuse your drink with herbs that are linked to relaxation, such as sage, this often helps. What are the benefits of anti-aging? Well, if you add dark berries and pomegranate seeds, which are rich in antioxidants, this can help protect against the effects of aging. Let's talk about metabolism. Many fruits can boost your metabolism and help with weight loss, so be sure to add in your raspberries, strawberries, tangerines, and any other delicious fruit. Now, let's move on to the recipe for this Friday, which is watermelon and lemon mint. Ingredients: 1 small cup of watermelon pieces, 1 large lemon sliced, and a handful of fresh mints. Now, for the directions, very simple. You just need a pitcher and add 1 small cup of watermelon sliced, 1 large lemon slice, and a handful of fresh mint. Muddle ingredients and fill pitcher with ice water, and you're good to go. Add more to your H2O. Check out the Facebook page every Friday for refreshing infused water recipes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and if you're just joining us, it is our pleasure having you this Friday morning. It's International Golden Retriever Day. Golden Retrievers are one of the most popular dog breeds in the world, and this day is specifically dedicated to celebrating this common furry friend. Jamie, have you ever interacted with a Golden Retriever before?
No, I don't think so.
Me neither. I've never had the chance. The only place I would have seen them would have been on TV. Yep.
Well, you're seeing one now on TV, right?
Again. In any event, let's learn a bit more about this dog breed in this segment of Exploring the Animal Kingdom. I learned that they live up to between 10 and 12 years. Wow, the Golden Retriever has been around since the early 1830s. The legend goes that in 1864, Lord Tweedmouth of Scotland mated 2 breeds of sporting dogs, one being a yellow retriever named Noose and the other being a liver-colored tweed water spaniel named Belle. Wow. So he was hoping to get orange? I don't know, because some of them do look orange, if you realize they have a faint orangish color. Have you ever noticed?
No, I've
not
never
orange,
noticed that.
but okay.
Pretty
Lord
dark.
Tweed. Yeah, but the black and white doesn't do justice for the dog.
The first Golden Retriever was called Golden Flatcoats. Wow. Initially, Golden Retrievers were called Golden Flatcoats. In 1911, its name was changed to Golden Retriever.
I think I know why they call them flat coats. Their hair lie flat. Yeah. And they're a hairy breed too. They shed a lot.
Just sticking its tongue out. If I tried that, I tell you. Anyway,
Don't
gets
try
away
it.
with it because it's a dog. Right?
Don't try it. There are 3 types of Golden Retrievers. Golden Retrievers today can be divided into 3 types: English, American, and Canadian. You got to get in on that.
How so?
The Caribbean. Yeah. British Golden Retriever. You see? Do you see him in the middle looking a little orangish, brownish, whitish? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
I see no orange.
Jamie!
I see no orange, but I'm in love with the British.
To the other lady.
I'm in love with the British Golden Retriever.
Why? He has the face of a Brit. I'm just saying.
I love that. Really?
He looks
no comment. That's not what it is. All right.
The Canadian Golden Retriever, though.
Golden Retrievers are always ready for action, whether it is a game of fetch, hiking, swimming, or another exercise. They're natural athletes that excel at a variety of sports.
Yes.
All right, so let's go play football. Golden Retriever, we'll see how you do.
But you know, they say a Golden Retriever needs to be mentally and physically stimulated. So these dogs are a lot of work. A lot of work. Look at this one. Swimming, just chilling. They're a hard-working breed. Golden Retrievers are used for everything from hunting and tracking to rescue and service dog work. Despite that playful, sometimes goofy demeanor, they learn quickly and can master a multitude of skills. Dun, 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 dun. The Canadian Mountie Golden Retriever. Looks like he just came out of the pool, soaked to death.
Definitely so. Goldens are often employed as therapy dogs to soothe and calm people. Goldens seem to have reserves. And we're drawing blank. I do apologize. All right, here we go again. So Goldens are often employed as therapy dogs to soothe and calm people. Goldens seem to have reserves of empathy and unconditional love. There's just something about a Golden that can calm and comfort anyone from young children to elderly patients.
No, I want a puppy. I have to dream that I have a puppy. Or maybe my dream will one day come true if I keep wishing on a star. But I can get a dog. But I don't know if I want a Golden dog because I'm not about to clean up all that fur. But I just want a puppy. Golden Retrievers love to eat. And they'll eat anything from the dinner in their bowl to toys, paper, and crayons. They also tend to overeat, so owners are encouraged to limit their treats, carefully measure out food, and feed them only at mealtime. Or you can get them a doggy treadmill, so while you work out, they work out too. Yeah. Because these dogs can get heavy too. Imagine a 50 to 75 is not bad.
Right, so sadly, due to inappropriate diets, many Goldies weigh more than they should, which can adversely affect their health. Okay.
Yeah, their knees, their leg. Are we trying to say this brownish, orangish? Do you still not see the orange hue? No?
Maybe.
See? He was trying to accomplish orange dog. A Golden holds the record for the loudest bark. And he barked the moon into existence. A 6-year-old Golden Retriever named Charlie has a spot in the Guinness World Record for having the loudest bark. His record-breaking bark was at 113.1 decibels, which is loud as a jet taking off. Wow. Go dog.
I wonder where he lived, if he had neighbors.
I think he lives in the States.
No, not that. Like, how much land?
Oh, you mean for the bark?
For the bark.
Okay. Look at him.
Charlie, you did that and you're still alive. Okay, your neighbors are great.
You go, Charlie.
Just saying, honestly. Wow. So Golden Retrievers love company. A loving companion. Here we go again. I'm sorry we are drawing blanks today. Unless you want to look at me as a dog, I don't know how this is going to work. All right, here we go. So Golden Retrievers love company. A loving companion, these dogs do best in a home where they get a lot of attention and time from their families. Whether it's running in the dog park, training in the backyard, or snuggling up on the couch.
Aww. I'm going to imagine that was me. I have a dog. Cute.
Is it the dark one or the light one?
Huh? The shade I get, the shade. Golden Retriever comes in lots of shades, from the white Golden Retriever through the English cream. Oh my God. Through the English cream and all the way to the dark red Golden Retriever. This is a pup with a serious range of hues. Wow. See, I told you. That's what he was doing. Yeah. Wow. Look at them. I wonder if... No, nobody has a selfie stick, so they're being photographed.
All right, so the fur darkens with age. When you bring home your very blonde golden retriever puppy, we are drawing blanks today. There is something technical going on, and yeah, here we go. We're back with the image. Thank you. When you bring home your very blonde golden retriever puppy, he might not stay that way, as fur can darken as they mature. Their coats become darker, and their permanent colors begin to appear when they turn 12 weeks of age.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like a baby too. Because, you know, they say you can tell the color a child will be by looking at the tip of their ear, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So once they're born, take a peep, and then you'll know, okay, my child's not staying this color.
Wow.
Yeah. Ooh, look at all that. Look at that silky fur in the wind. I need to find out why dogs keep their tongue out of their mouth. Because dogs drool a lot. I'm surprised they don't wear bibs. They drool a lot. Golden shed a lot. Oh, this I know. Golden retrievers shed their fur throughout the year. They shed moderately in winter and summer, and shed heavily during fall and spring. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have kept it at golden retriever shed a lot. Doesn't matter the season.
Look at him. He's sterilizing his own hair. He's probably like, no, I don't want to be. Please don't use this on me today. Imagine having one of those in your house, Jamie. You have to. Oh my God.
That's why I don't.
Wow. Yeah.
Golden retrievers have a double coat. They have an outer coat, which is long, fine, and smooth, while their undercoat is thick, frizzy, and soft. The two layers protect golden retrievers from the sun, cold, and moisture.
I figure that's why when they said they shed little in the winter and a little in the summer, I'm suggesting that they're preparing for winter right out of summer. But in fall and spring, let's let this go until summer, man. Yeah, let's cool down. Golden retrievers have webbed toes. The toes on their paws are joined together by thin webs of skin. These web paws don't have a lot of everyday uses, but they can be beneficial in the water. Webbed feet helps retrievers to be efficient swimmers, swim faster, and quickly bring the prey to the hunters. Oh, yeah, I was told that they're hunting dogs as well. Oh, showing off his nails. You watch those award shows where they have the nail cam, where the celebrities walking their fingernails? Okay, Jamie doesn't watch those things. Pretend it's only you. Well, folks, there we have it for the golden retriever. We hope that what we educated you on, you may become and choose to get a golden retriever. If you do, let us know. But stay tuned. Much more after this.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Good morning, SKN. This is lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. There's been a lot of debate around body positivity promoting obesity. So for today's hot take, we will be giving our opinion on this topic. But first, let's have a look at a video clip from the show, The Doctors.
Many times, I think it's helped people be kinder to one another, more understanding, but more importantly...
All right, is it true that doctors are never around when you need them?
What?
That's not true, is it?
Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house?
I was tempted to ask about that. In any event, body positivity promoting obesity, that's an interesting concept.
Promoting obesity.
I guess the promotion would be more indirect than direct, because to think that body positivity actually would promote obesity is a bit of a stretch for me. But anyway, we have the video ready now, so we're going to take a look at that.
He's got great skin, Jamie.
I think it's helped people be kinder to one another, more understanding, but more importantly, to be able to love themselves. But now people are asking the question, could this actually be making us more obese? A new study from Georgia Southern University has found that despite the increasing rate of obesity in the country, fewer people are actively trying to lose weight. And so then some people have taken that jump to a conclusion, okay, could there in some way, shape, or form be a connection here? And I think what they found was the percent of overweight people trying to lose weight fell from 55 to 49%. That's not a huge decrease.
But 6% when you look at the scope of the problem.
Given that rates are going up.
And the obesity is going up. So now 75% of all Americans, adult Americans, are either overweight or obese. It's pretty high, but I don't think that body shaming and guilt has any part of the answer, and there's no reason to think.
Well, we know fat shaming does the opposite of the intended effect. Fat shaming does not work.
You're right.
Yeah. And I think body positivity is an incredibly positive thing that should stay.
But you need to entwine.
But you also have to talk about health positivity.
Well, and that's the difference. People come in different sizes
and shapes, and being bigger, if you're healthy, is okay.
We've gotten to a place where I think we've come to a realization, we talk about on the show all the time, how smoking is such a
thought.
Yeah. But is one of the doctors, and he's a doctor, I do not have a PhD behind my name, he says being big and healthy is okay. I guess we can connote big to the bodybuilders?
No, not necessarily, because he's talking about the natural shapes of people. I mean, we come in all shapes and sizes. Realistically, we know that as people of African descent, or women tend to be bigger than a lot of others, more shapely as well. The thing is, do you equate size with health? Because there are some really thin people who I guess would represent what society deems to be the ideal figure if there were one, who are really not as healthy as bigger people. And so,
but even some bigger people, Jamie, they have health complications as well, because the weight eventually affects the knees. Let's just say some obese persons have diabetes, they have pressure. So big doesn't all the time means healthy. In hindsight, I don't think so.
It doesn't mean unhealthy. It's one of those weird things, because there can be bigger people who are fit, more fit than
the slimmer person.
Slimmer people. So when we're talking about body positivity, let's get back to that for a moment. What does it mean to be body positive? We heard it. Loving yourself as you are.
Yes.
But also that question of whether or not it does promote obesity. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh. Loving yourself as you are is a good thing. So no matter what anybody says, you know, you work with what you are working with. But the obesity thing, that's what gets me, because that's health issues right there. And being a person of the black race, we are prone to more diseases than the average other races. So we have to be careful. There's nothing wrong in being, how do they call it, fat and fabulous, not FAT, but PHAT and fabulous, but we still have to ensure that we are not walking around with complications while we are being comfortable in our skin. So it wouldn't hurt to visit a doctor, make sure you're clear, and then you live your life.
I really want to know, does body positivity promote obesity? As I said before, if you want to take that argument into consideration, it would, for me, be more of an indirect promotion, and that really is a stretch, because, as you heard the doctor say, people are jumping to the conclusion that body positivity does, in fact, promote obesity.
Because then others that maybe putting on weight may say, I don't need to exercise, look how cute she look, I don't look that cute, but then we don't have the same genetics or makeup, so we can decide that because this is her figure, her shape, her size, that this will work for us. So we have to be mindful.
It is that, but I also think that there's a whole discussion around whether or not it provides an excuse for the weight gain. Do we just say, you know what, I love myself, so I'm good as is, and I'm getting thumbs up here. we love myself. I'm that. That's what it is. I'm body positive, so I don't need to focus on.
But are we really body positive though? We're just being lazy.
That's just being lazy. That's a stretch, Hortensia. Come on. No. That's a stretch. Not everybody can move. Not everybody's at the same point in their journey. So you've got to take people as they are.
Most of us don't want to do no exercise, myself included. So I know I have to do what I have to do. On days I don't feel comfortable in my skin, I have to up my sizes. Yes, I'll be honest. And it's not cool.
But if we take this discussion to the other end of the spectrum, which is, let's take it, fat shaming versus body positivity. Follow that spectrum for a little bit. Fat shaming is really mean. Fat shaming is bad.
Yeah, that's mean, straight.
As you heard the doctor say, it doesn't really accomplish the goal that it set out to accomplish, which is get you wherever you need to get to. And guess what? We do that here. You put on weight. Huh?
Yeah, you got fat there? I've grown older.
No, I'm body positive. How about that?
Hey!
Right?
Not me or onto something.
Not me. The doctors are. No, but then does it become, which is why we're having this discussion, does it become an excuse? Yeah. Does it become a justification for not doing anything to be your best self? And that's the question.
Yeah. So let's not use it as body positivity, as I said. Go to your own doctor, get your checkout and whatever. Because some people, Jamie's hard for them to lose weight. And some persons, that's just their makeup. As you said, we're from African descent. We have Amazons, we have tall women. I saw this thing on the news, I don't know if you saw it, this lady that had a big behind. She was bought and used in the circus. She went all around the world. Eventually Africa asked that she be sent back. So they dug her up and sent her back where she's buried in Africa. But she was a tall, burly woman with a hell of a behind. That people would sit on her behind. That's how usually what the actual man could have sat on it and be fine. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's extreme.
Yeah, but as you said, fat shaming doesn't work because you telling me I'm fat isn't going to make me speed up the process to exercise. I'm going to be like, oh, well, that's your opinion of me.
But then that's the thing. It's like, you're not my doctor. You don't know how healthy I am or not. You're looking at one thing that seems to indicate good health to you. But realistically, as I said before, other people that you're identifying as, you're not
healthy.
Might be healthier than you.
Yep.
You don't know what they're doing. You don't know why they are the way that they are because it could be health considerations. Maybe they've got bad legs. They can't walk around a lot. So their exercise routines have to change, and that equates to, hey, maybe it's medication. Maybe it's something else. I find that we're very insensitive in these parts, and I'll talk about these parts. How dare you? Honestly.
Do you think it's only these parts were bolder because we're smaller, right?
I talk about these parts because these people think they can get into your business and into your scale to tell you what you should or shouldn't look like. And it seems as if you have a positive body image regardless of your size, that rubs certain people the wrong way because, we have a problem paying compliments.
Because even skinny, girl, when you're going to get somewhere there,
that's it.
So it's like, you're not, where are you safe when it comes to your body?
In your mind. Be positive.
Yes.
I'm all for body positivity as you aim to be healthier. That's fine. Be positive. Indeed. You guys who like to shame people, shame on you. We'll be back in a moment with more GMSKN.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Karen of Paris and Zippo from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
An exotic experience.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, This Benz lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it go already, see me. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up, and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Benz lad, it's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and welcome to Davinia Tomlinson, author of Cash is Queen, the world's first financial literacy book written exclusively for preteen and teenage girls. Davinia is also the founder of Raincheck. Wow. Good morning, Davinia, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure indeed. So I'm going to start with Raincheck. What is Raincheck?
So Raincheck is, I always think of it as my third child. So I'm a mother of 2 daughters already.
Really?
My background is in the investment management industry, and Raincheck was born out of my career in investment management, in which I recognized that there were a number of financial inequalities that women faced, particularly around the extent to which we were investing our money for the long term, saving into a retirement plan. And so Raincheck offers qualified and regulated financial advice, as well as financial education and coaching specifically for women to help close some of those financial gaps.
All right, so congratulations on publishing the book. First of its kind, Cash is Queen. A very specific target audience. I want to ask you why.
Yes. So of course, as you've just heard, so you know, my career has been obviously working with a variety of different clients, both men and women, but recognizing specifically that despite us representing 50% of the global population, if not more, the challenges that women faced when it came to our finances just seem to be growing larger and larger. You know, we have a gender pay gap that plagues us, there's an investing gap, and at least in the UK, we're seeing women retiring with 1/5 of the pension pot or retirement savings of the average UK man. So if you imagine at 65, which is the average, or at least used to be the average age of retirement in the UK for women, we're retiring with £35,000 to our name with which to live for the rest of our lives. And that really helps to focus the mind around why there is a real need to speak to women around their financial literacy. If you think about the next generation now, you know, my mission is to make sure that the younger generation do not have to confront some of those challenges. And so whilst, you know, financial literacy and the need to be better educated around our finances is not something that is unique to women. Everybody needs to play their part and contribute, but certainly men seem to have a head start when it comes to their finances, and there are a number of different reasons for that.
So what are some of the reasons, since you would have mentioned that?
Yeah, so I think, you know, what we see anecdotally is that men have a higher propensity for asking for what they're worth. That's the first thing. You know, in the previous segment, you talked about body positivity and confidence, and actually even things like that tend to plague women in thinking about body image and self-esteem and all of those associated issues. They plague women far more than men. It doesn't mean that men don't suffer with those confidence issues, but actually when you think about some of the debate around, you know, who looks good and who doesn't look good and who's hot and who's not on Instagram, those sorts of things tend to plague women far more than they do men. So there is something around confidence. There is also something about, I think, when you think traditionally and institutionally about women's role in the home versus men traditionally going out to work, I think lots of those societal norms have played out as women become I guess, more active economically in terms of our workforce participation. And so what happens is companies just haven't caught up. So at least in the Western world, what you see is that women, for doing equal work, despite a number of different legislative you know, steps forward, Equal Pay Act, you know, exists, and there are a number of other things around equality legislatively that exist, men are still being paid more for the same work. And so what happens is, even just by default, you and I were doing the same role, Jamie, in the workplace, arguably you'd be paid more, and we wouldn't know that unless we had a conversation about our salaries. So I really think that it's important that we recognize lots of these challenges. It's not just about feminism, which I think, you know, lots of people can say, well, no, this is just a feminist crusade. There is a real societal imperative, because I think there is a lot of evidence that when women have the grasp of their finances and have economic empowerment, you see the implications and that ripple effect across communities that impacts both men and women.
Well, that's fair enough, definitely so, because we've had conversations with other guests who've talked about very recently that pay gap and things that we're not aware of. And so you raise a very solid point. Back to the title for 1 second, Cash is clean.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So for anybody that's a business owner, you may be familiar with this concept of cash is king, which is effectively, this idea that, cash flow is really everything. If you're running a business and you run out of cash, then the business goes up in smoke, it's over. And so what I was doing was very playfully trying to, play on those words and help the young ladies recognize that, there is a real importance of reigning supreme over your own finances, recognizing that you're in control. So there is a very strong kind of regal theme that runs all the way throughout the book. We talk about, them being, having a royal money mindset. So again, thinking of themselves as being in control of their lives and their money. At the end of each section, we have a summary of all of the main points that we cover. So we're covering everything from budgeting to investing to retirement saving. We talk about gratification. And, when you think about concepts like gratification, which apply to much more than just money, you think, if you've got children yourselves, you will know that if they get money, they want to spend it straight away. The idea of instant versus deferred gratification and the importance of being able to wait, save your money for a rainy day. The very name Rain Check, my business name, is about banking those checks for a rainy day. And so you want to encourage the young people at a very early age to understand some of these concepts. So at the end of each chapter, we have what is known as the crown jewels, which just summarize each chapter. So there is a very strong regal theme throughout the book.
I can see that on the cover alone, and then I realize what's going on as I go into it, right?
Most of the adverts on television are geared towards women.
Yes.
How can you get somebody to basically ignore those and save more? How?
Yeah, I think now this is where I'm thinking specifically about the audience for Cash is King with younger children and younger people. There is quite a lot that we should be doing in the home anyway to make sure that the children are understanding the value of money. And I recognize it's much harder to do in a social media age. It's much harder to do in a digital age in which, around the world, we're using contactless payments, we're using Apple Pay for things. So we're not even necessarily handling cash in the same way as we used to. Children don't necessarily have piggy banks. But I think, talking to them about their money, talking to them about how we might be managing our money. And I recognize that there are some cultural differences that might mean actually, we're not necessarily going to say, well, here's my pay slip, look at what I earn. But there are other ways that we can open up a conversation around money, perhaps by talking to them about the household budget. There's evidence that parents who speak to their children about money, those children have a 25% higher financial literacy rate than those children whose parents don't speak to them about money. And so you can see that actually, even just opening up the conversation, asking them what they already know about money, and again, talking to them about this gratification, that it's okay to spend your money when you get some granny might, give you money for your birthday or godparents or whoever. Yeah. You don't have to spend it all. Spend some, and it's important to recognize the joy that you can derive from treating yourself. Yeah. But actually also knowing that if you save that money for a later point in time, that the reward could potentially be sweeter. So I think it's about that, helping them to understand you don't need to spend all of your money straight away, but also to have a strong self-concept. Yes. So that they don't have to buy, and they don't want to buy whatever it is that their friends have, that they recognize this is what I want, and that's what they want, and that's okay. Yeah, so there's some broader life lessons, I think, that you can derive from having conversations around money too.
Very important. As you talk about that, when we think culturally about money here, I think you'd also be noticing that you'd have to target the parents as well.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where I'm thinking, okay, you want to target the children, obviously, but the children would probably receive this book because the parents say that managing money is important. Have you gotten any feedback from parents?
Yeah, and it's been really positive, actually. I've had neighbors who've stopped by my house and said, I want to buy the book for my daughter, and actually my daughter's friends as well, which has been really good. And you're quite right. I think, lots of this begins in the home, as we've discussed. There was a study done by Cambridge University which showed that children form their earliest money habits by the age of 7. Which is breathtaking, for anybody that's got small children. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I think, oh my gosh, they are already learning by osmosis from me about money. How does mommy manage money in the household? How does daddy manage money? Where does money come from? And what does it mean? What relationship do my parents have with money? Is it fraught with, frustration and contention? Does it cause a lot of stress in the house? Is there a more relaxed approach to money in the house? They're already picking things up. And so you're quite right. It is important that as part of this discourse, we are targeting parents as well. We're having these conversations. So in the work that I do, I'm encouraging parents, particularly now, and we're in the midst of a cost of living crisis. We've got, really intense global economic pressures. It's very inflationary worldwide. And so now is a good time for us to talk to parents about how you're managing your money, how you can optimize your finances and make some really savvy financial decisions whilst involving the children too. But I think it's fair to say, based on that study that I've just shared and that piece of data, children are already learning anyway from us. So we just need to think about how we can lead by example in making sure that they're learning the right things.
Indeed. You spoke about investments. I want to go there. So you said the men are more prone to investing than women. And why are we taught to just save in the bank? Because as correctly, the money doesn't gain much interest and it doesn't amount to too much. So how do you get the message across to women to invest just as our counterparts are doing?
Yes, and you're quite right. You make a really valid point, particularly now. I mean, if you think about, I'm not sure what the inflation levels are in St. Kitts right now, but I know that it's causing a lot of strain. In the UK, you know, inflation is at its highest level in 40 years. We're seeing a similar picture in the US. And of course, that's squeezing us. So exactly as you described, if we are disproportionately holding our money in cash in the bank, what it means is the value of those pounds, dollars, EC dollars, is worth less than it would be at a future point in time. So whether you have a finance background or not, we can all understand purchasing power parity. We can all understand, you know, the value of my Rams basket today versus what I could get 6 months ago is quite different. I can now only get some apples, and before I could get some apples and a breadfruit and a mango. So, you know, we can easily see, gosh, my money is not stretching. Investing is one of the best ways to mitigate the impact of inflation, particularly on a long-term basis. So again, the thing that I always try to impress upon people is that this is not just based on my opinion, and we have to be able to do our own due diligence. This is based on evidence and data. So over the long term, think about, and there are lots of different investment instruments, but over the long term, stock market investing, which is the one that lots of us will be familiar with, so investing in stocks and shares, has a virtual certainty of outperforming cash saving in terms of the return you're going to generate on your cash. So as I say, particularly in an inflationary environment, you are trying to at least, if inflation in the UK is 10%, you need to be generating a return on your investments of at least 10% in order to break even. But if you put your money in the bank, you're only going to get maybe 3% or 4% at best on your cash, which means that you're still not gaining. So that's one of the ways that I try to encourage women. And, you know, there's also the emotion around money. You know, I think there's a lot of evidence that for women, it's not that we are necessarily more emotional than men when it comes to investing, but actually we are thinking about broader implications in lots of ways. We're thinking about, we're investing for our children, we're investing for ourselves so that we can look after ourselves in later life. So we are taking our financial decisions to a certain life outcome. So one of the ways that I try to encourage women, without patronizing them, because we are grown people, we're not trying to be condescended to. One of the ways that I encourage women is by saying, let us look at the numbers and let us see, right, if you had these two different options, this is what the value of your money might be in this period of time versus this option. And we look at the opportunity cost. That's one of the ways of saying, you want to achieve some of these things within this time frame, this is the best option for you. And so I think in so doing, you're slowly, you know, nurturing people's minds and changing mindsets. You know, we have to recognize, as I say, money is, you know, there's a lot of psychology around money too. It's not just purely the numbers.
Indeed.
All right, a lot of food for thought, and we're not done just yet. So more with Davinia in a moment. Stay tuned.
Wow.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We're talking with Davinia Tomlinson all about money, all about managing money. And you were the author of Cash is Queen, as we talked about, the founder of Raincheck. We want to focus now on Raincheck. So your business mission, what can you tell us about that?
So Raincheck really exists to help women take control of their financial futures, and more importantly and specifically to build sustainable long-term wealth. And I think that word is so loaded for lots of people. I mean, if you think about some of the connotations, the heavy connotations surrounding wealthy women, lots of people will think of women in divorce situations as having, these multi-million-pound payouts and being these ice maidens, or, women that work in senior leadership positions or directors. The connotations surrounding those women can quite often be quite negative. And so what I'm trying to do is not just demystify the world of finance and investing through the financial education component of what I deliver through my services, but also to encourage women that it's okay for us to want to achieve economic empowerment and to build wealth. We shouldn't shy away from that word, because it is in building wealth that we are able to impact not just our own lives, but the lives of the communities within which we live.
During the break, Davinia, we spoke about the risk that boys take towards girls.
Yes.
Why is it that they're so nonchalant? They do whatever. They don't care if they lose their money, or they pretend not to care if they lose their money. But we are taught, as you said, don't jump off of that. Don't scratch your skin. Don't. Why?
There is certainly when it comes to money, there is a phenomenon known as reckless caution, which means that as women, we talked about inflation prior to the break, and women have a predisposition towards cash saving, for example, because we think we are taking a calculated risk. We think we are, putting our money in the safest place. When actually, as we've discussed, it can actually be one of the worst possible decisions you can make. But we think, if I hold it in cash, when I check my bank account, it's the same amount of money. I haven't lost anything. You haven't gained anything either. And actually, the money is depreciating in value. So it's reckless caution, because ultimately you think you're doing the right thing. You think you're being cautious and conservative. It is reckless because it is not based on any sound data or fact. I'm very objective and fact-based, as you can probably guess. When you think about, when you apply that same principle to raising boys versus raising girls, we all have anecdotal evidence within our own families. Perhaps we do it as parents or godparents. But if you're raising a little girl and you're raising a little boy, what you see is that the boy, in lots of cases, particularly in the Caribbean, particularly among the Black community, the boys are encouraged not to cry, to be tough, to be very alpha male, to leap off a cliff and leap into the sea and not worry if they get scraped, to climb those trees. And the girls are told to be prim and proper. I remember being, in my upbringing, being told these things and looking at my boy cousins, and they're doing all sorts of things, and I'm just sat there with my petticoat on and my skirt and told to sit cross-legged and, not let any boys see up my skirt and all of this kind of thing. In the language and, that narrative that surrounds young girls, if you imagine that carrying through into their adult life, that you internalize these things of, I must be conservative, I must be prim and proper at all times, I must never put a foot wrong, I must never make a mistake. Boys are making mistakes all the time, and they're encouraged to continue to make mistakes because there are no negative repercussions. Whereas for girls, what we learn is that it's the end of the world if we make a mistake, if we get a bruise, if we scrape ourselves. You might fall down having done something that your parent maybe told you not to do, and get home and get spanked for doing what you were told not to do, even though you're already crying.
Indeed.
So there is something in our socialization, and perhaps something that we can also reflect on in terms of how we are raising our boys versus our girls there too.
Wow.
And then it makes its way into the finances, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes its way into the finances.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Raincheck, the podcast. You've been doing this for 5 years.
Yes.
Why'd you start?
I love chatting, first of all. So I do love talking, but I think the thing about the podcast is that I get the opportunity to speak to a variety of different women from all walks of life. I'm going to be bringing it to St. Kitts soon and speaking to some petition guests, because there are so many incredible women that live and work here. But I think what I'm trying to do in building this global Rainmaker community is to get women to see that actually women are doing different things and achieving their life goals, building wealth, and using that wealth to inform their qualities of life. That's really important. And it's important that we see women from different backgrounds, ethnicities, ages, socioeconomic groups doing these things so that it's relatable. One of the big things for me in writing my book was that, particularly given the target audience of preteen and teenage girls, representation is such a big thing. I come from the UK, obviously, but I worked at very senior levels within the finance industry, and in many, I'd sit around the boardroom table in many different instances, and I would be the only woman in lots of respects, definitely the only Black woman, quite often the only Black person. And so it's really important that we demonstrate to whether it's women, to young girls, that actually you can achieve these things. Here are examples of women from a cross-section of society from different backgrounds who are doing the things that you can do too.
Lovely. So you just spoke about the Caribbean and London. What is your connection to the Caribbean? I want to know.
So my family are half Kittian on my mom's side.
Okay.
They're from the village, and my dad is Jamaican.
Oh, nice.
Definitely Caribbean.
As Jamie just say, once you're asked where in the Caribbean if someone asks, are you from the Caribbean? The first thing they're gonna say, oh, Jamaica.
You qualify. It's fine. You're good. All right, so let's talk about your accomplishments for a second. Congratulations on being nominated, by the way, for the 2019 Precious Awards, Startup Business of the Year. All right, let's talk about that. What did that feel like to be nominated?
Yeah, you know, I feel like that award, that was one of the first awards that I won.
Wow.
And it was particularly special to me because I think it's a one thing to be recognized by your industry and your peers. So that's a great thing too. But I think being recognized within the Black community, so the Precious Awards is a foundation that was established by a Black woman 20 years ago. Started life as a magazine at a time in the UK where we couldn't get access to magazines that demonstrated or represented women of color, certainly not Black women. We used to have to import all of our magazines from the US, and it would take ages and ages for them to come. So Precious was one of the first. And so the founder of that organization is a very special, we have a very special relationship. So winning that award really was, something that made me feel quite good about what I was doing, my contribution to the Black community.
And also being elevated, I guess, as a woman of color as well.
Definitely.
Wow. And the year after, let us talk about the FinTech Power List. You made that list.
Yeah, so London is the global fintech center of the world. So fintech is effectively financial technology for anybody that is listening and isn't familiar with that. So all of the banking that we do on our phones or via various apps, savings and investments, anything that we do on our using technology to facilitate is known as fintech. And so there is a power list, which is basically, the top 50 people globally who are making, taking great strides. So it was wonderful to be on that list in that year.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
You're quite accomplished, I have to say. Which is great, because I love that you're using your platform to empower women.
Yes.
If you had, and you only have about 1 minute left, so I'll give you the opportunity to do so. Let's pretend for a second that you had an audience of women just sitting here, and you want to impart to them how important it is to be financially literate. What would you say to them? That's your camera.
I think what I would say to any woman that's listening is that having a solid grasp of your finances isn't just about, having the money in the bank or being able to say, I'm rich. It's about your quality of life. It's about the contribution you can make, to the children that you're raising, to, your confidence levels, impacts and infuses through every aspect of your life. So really think about your financial literacy as your gift to yourself and the best investment you can make in yourself.
Nice. Before we go, where can we get the book?
So Cash's Queen is available on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, so wherever you are in the world, you can access it online. And of course, I'll be bringing some copies to St. Kitts as well. I'm hoping to go into the schools and run some financial literacy workshops for boys and girls.
Good stuff.
Not just girls.
I like that.
Davinia, it's been a pleasure interacting with you. Definitely not going to be our last time. You love to chat. Clearly, we do as well. So you never know, all right? We're looking forward to another opportunity to interact with you and find out what else you're doing with Wayne Check as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Pleasure. It's ours. More GMS Scan in a flash. Stay tuned, everyone.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band, and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It is time for us to loosen up. And as human beings, evolution is an intrinsic aspect of our existence. However, some of us resist it, which is true. How do you resist evolution? Anyway, in this segment of Loosen Up, we'll be speaking candidly about the growth and the importance of being open to it. First question goes to you. All right. Generally speaking, are you open to growing, evolving sorts?
I tried to stagnate growth for a while. When it came to technology, I was refusing to get the cell phone. I was the last person in my family to get the cell phone. Now I realize that stagnation doesn't work because the world is changing and I'm being left behind. So I'm working on growing up. I'm not there yet, but I am working on it because certain things, do I like change? I think I do, but I'm not sure I do. Yeah.
All right.
That's how I sum that up.
How do you resist growth, though? This is a part that gets me, because we talk about evolution, we talk about growth. Okay, evolution to me is a natural progression to newness, so that when you look back at a period in time, you realize that there is a change that occurred at some point. That change might be more gradual than it is, just like drastic.
Yeah.
So when we talk about changes in terms of personal growth, I guess this is where we're going with the conversation. How do people resist personal growth? You grow whether or not you think about it, depending on what you are thinking about.
Because sometimes I'm going to pretend I'm thinking for the general public. These are my opinions and not that of anybody's. Change is hard. For most people, it's hard. Jamie, let's look at getting a new job. So the bad habits you had at the old job, you can't bring them to the new job. And then you regret leaving the old job. You want to go back there because you had more time. You could have been on your phone. You could do this. You could do that. Whereas at the new job, it's just work. Your phone time is your lunch time or your break time. So you waste your time, but you're even watched. So if you come back from your break 1 minute, you're apprehended. You'd be like, I bet I go back there, you know, because being able to stress. That's how most people would think, right? Well, as I said, we'd be like, oh, this work here too hard, why? Over there, I would waste so much time. I'll make sure Friday I look like I do something.
I don't know. Well, I guess I'm not representative of a lot of people, obviously. Representative of me, right? But I love challenges. So I think that there is, well, not that I think, I know there's something called scaffolding when you talk about learning. And effectively what that means is that you are bridging the gap between the level that you desire to be and where you are, so that you're stretching yourself. And in that way you are actually growing until you get there, and it continues and it continues. So I don't know how people could resist growth. I think when I said to you before that I think no matter what, we're all growing. It's because experientially we are growing.
We are.
We take in new experiences. We learn things, even if that doesn't normally reflect a change in behavior, which for most intelligent beings it should, as we evolve. Sometimes we just don't reflect the changes in behavior. So I guess in that way you could say the growth is not being manifested. But honestly, I think it's very difficult not to grow and not to evolve, especially in this age.
Maybe that's why some people are stunted their growth, because getting old is easy, staying young is hard. That is my mantra, because old is just creeping up, or age or wisdom is just creeping up. Whilst when you're young, it just seems like time is there forever. Summers seem long. When you get older, summers just run through the door. So, yeah.
I've got to say, though, for those of us who, in the past, I used to do it, I used to equate age with wisdom. I have since reconsidered that, because I no longer spell wisdom in all instances as W-I-S-D-O-M, but W-I-Z-D-U-M-B.
Oh my God, wisdom.
And if you've encountered some people who might not be growing as they should sometimes, by virtue of their age alone, it doesn't mean that they are wise. So that is my play on that, not to judge a book by its cover, so to speak, but to appreciate what lies beneath the surface as well. How can a lack of growth affect a person?
Wow. It can affect them in many ways, because if they're not serious, nobody will ever take them serious. Let's see, a 60-year-old wants to still dress like a 22-year-old. Who's going to employ you looking like that? Come on. The way they speak.
What age did you say?
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm asking. What was the first age?
A 60-year-old.
Oh, that's retirement age.
Trying to dress like a 20-year-old.
That's retirement age.
Oh, not for long.
But you realize it's interesting, because as we not for long, not for long, you say. That's funny. It's interesting when we think about that, because again, it's like, I don't know. When you say dress like, what do you mean?
Okay, they want to wear the mini skirts and the midriff tops.
If they got the figure, I mean, we've been told.
Some of us don't.
What about body positivity? Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah, we spoke about body positivity, but you see, we like to tell people act their age, right?
I'm playing around, by the way.
Hold up. We can't tell them to act their age because they were never 60 before, right? But still, okay, dress like you were 59, so act like 59.
No, I don't know. Listen, this whole thing, it's interesting that we're going with this, because I guess we're talking about growth, and you think that growth should be reflected on, you know, the outside, how people dress, their deportment, what they do, etc. But at the same time, I don't know what I feel about that. I don't know if I think that that's representative of growth in and of itself, because people are individuals. Some of them actually look good regardless. And by the way, some would argue that fashion has evolved in any event.
Yeah, but I've seen older persons that dress lovely and they look the part. I'm not saying old on yourself, put on like 10 layers of a dress, 10 petticoats, your tights, everything. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying dress for your age. This is your era. Look at women that dress for their age. They look well. They don't have to look like little kids. You feel me, right? I'm not trying to shame anybody or get at anybody, but I'm just saying, let our growth be seen in every area of our lives.
All right. So as you say, let that happen, you've got to identify weaknesses and actively work on it. That's one of those things, right?
Including the low self-esteems we might have had, and as you said, the Caribbean people seeing you and say, "Oh, you fat." That in turn can play on your mind, and
You know what I think?
Lower your self-esteem somewhat.
We give people way too much power. That's
We
really
do
what I
with our
think.
lives,
I think
yeah.
that we have to appreciate the fact that we have one life.
Mhm.
And as I tell people, God didn't give you your life and my life.
Yeah,
He gave
yours.
one life
Yeah.
to each of us. And so we each have to decide how we want to spend it. The concept of spending time or spending life, it says that it's going to run out at some point. So you want to make sure you spend it wisely.
Yeah, as Les Brown say, we're not getting out of life alive. So, yeah.
So it takes improving on the weaknesses if you want a better quality of life. We heard about that in the previous segment. That makes a lot of sense. Quality, you've got to be growing. If you did something that adversely affected your finances, since we were talking about that, or adversely affected your relationships, or adversely affected your career before, you ought to be growing so that those mistakes don't repeat themselves.
Exactly,
that's evolution.
my point.
And you ought to be open to, as we talk about evolution and growth, opportunities to stretch yourself as well. I think we should be that way as individuals. Find those opportunities. How else would you grow?
How else would I grow? Well, for this one, where it said combat, right? As Black people and as Caribbean people, and maybe as people in the whole, we don't like to go to counselors. So maybe when we identify our weaknesses, we go to a counselor, we speak our truth, we get the help, and we move on. I was listening to, or I was actually reading something on YouTube where this guy was depressed for almost 30 years and never told his best friend until now. Now his best friend is saying, you ask them. But sometimes, even being a friend, Jamie, you don't want to ask people what they're going through because there are boundaries to friendships. So I say that to say, whilst we're growing, we have to understand that if we have this friend for 30 years and we're growing with this friend, we have to allow ourselves to be open, celebrate our strengths and our weakness so that they can help. Because, oh, I'm grown, nobody needs to know what I'm going through, blah, blah, blah. If you're not open, how can I help you? How can I give you advice? Maybe I would have gone through the same situation and you need that advice. So we need to be open.
All right. And that openness, you're absolutely right. Openness to loved ones, pointing out our weaknesses.
Not all the time,
with
though.
Limits.
Yeah, thank you.
With limits.
Because sometimes your loved ones be mean. Yeah.
You're really the gatekeeper of whatever you let into your spirit anyway. Yeah. So you've got to be mindful of what people say. And also beyond that, think about the motive. Because I said, and this is the thing, I said it yesterday when we were talking about international affairs. I said it before. When it comes to people's motivation, sometimes you have to question why they say what they say, because it's not necessarily coming from a good place all the time. It's not necessarily coming from a bad place either, but appreciate that there are motives for action. And so if we just assume that someone says something for our good without looking a little further, we might not realize that there is something that they have to gain from their saying, you need to do this, you need to change that, whatever. It's not necessarily all good either.
No, because it could be coming from a place of their own insecurity that they're projecting onto you.
That, or they just want something and you think that they're actually your friend or ally and they really just want to see you fail.
Yeah, maybe that's why the guy told Michael Strahan, although we're friends for this long, I wasn't willing to open up because he didn't want it to feel like, because you're in this capacity.
Listen, a lot of people, it's different. I don't know what works for everybody. I'm not a counselor. I'm going to put this out there, but we're still talking about growth. For me, growth has come when I get fed up. And that's literally it. It's like, there's a sense of complacency sometimes that I'm not comfortable with. If things become too easy, if things become too regular, and I'm not saying that you can't develop or grow in something that, it's just, okay, it's like butter. It's just, you're just sliding. That's fine to some degree. But there has to be some element of challenge. There have to be people around you who are going to elevate you to some extent where they can even point out your weaknesses. And if you're open to it, then you will grow. Not saying that you accept everything, but there might be some things that you can learn from. So depends, right?
Certainly depends. And people, and then, as we said before, people have to be mindful how they speak into your lives, because you don't know what day you're going to get somebody on. So you might just say something that is positive, but they don't accept it in a positive way. So we have to be mindful of that as well.
We say positive things. Really? Okay. If that's how you think. Is it our culture to say something positive? I mean, seriously.
Sometimes
somebody looks good. They show up at work. How many of us would say, wow, that is lovely. I like that. Or do we say, it's your birthday, boy. What's going on? You look good. You look good today. Or
in the Caribbean, the first thing is
as if it's not normal, right? It's like, where did that change come from? This is an anomaly. It's like we do that. We kind of give backhanded compliments, and no wonder people don't want people speaking to them into their spirits. Like, what are you coming with today? Like, literally.
So, Jamie, what about self-acceptance and complacency?
Well, I talked a little bit about complacency. Self-acceptance, it means that, and I said it before, I say a lot of things here, don't I? Stop having me talk to you guys. Stop it. Bring the sofa. Yeah, I'm kidding around. No, but I said it before when it came to, knowing yourself, accepting what you can and cannot do while you are on that path to grow. Yes. I talked about it in the context of the little engine that couldn't. You heard me say that. Just some things that you're not going to be good at, and you know how to shift your focus, and you accept it, and you move on. It doesn't mean that you're not going to try that or try other things. How else would you know? And how else would you grow? Sometimes you learn by making mistakes. It's how you grow. It's like, I want to do that. I thought I could catch the light. I realized I couldn't, and it hit me. I don't know. Those sorts of things, right? I thought I could. Michael Jordan thought he could be a baseball player. We all saw how that works out.
He tried everything, He tried it. But at least he tried. Yeah. He tried. Yeah.
It's interesting when we talk about that. I often joke about this. Honestly, there are so many reference points because Michael Jordan was a great baseball. He was a great ball player with a net. Right, we got that, and then he transitioned to baseball and it didn't really work out. And we see sometimes when people here in our spheres, they're good in one thing, particularly managerial type professionals. And then I see the transitions. They go, oh, manager here means you're going to be a good manager here. And sometimes it doesn't work out. I'm like, oh, well, the Michael Jordan phenomenon is back. But at least you tried it, right? So you can accept the failure and move on. That's what we're talking about here.
And
you got an opportunity to grow, right?
As Jamie say, if you don't know, you won't grow.
I said that?
You just said that.
I did?
If you don't know, you won't grow.
I didn't know that I said that. I said it like that? Wow, okay. What's going on here?
Let me say, if you don't know, Look, Michael tried baseball. He failed at it, so he grew, and he went back to where he came from, whence he come at, right? He went back to basketball. So he knew he wasn't good at it, so he grew out of it.
There's like a diss somewhere in there, but in any event, he went back from whence he came, right? Yeah, we get it. In any event, we want you guys to be the best possible people that you can be. So whatever opportunities come your way for growth, be sure to take them, be prepared to take them, and do what you can to keep them and to be successful at them. Yes. All right, we'll be back in a moment with more GMSKN. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to your favorite day of the week, Friday. It's Infused Friday, and you've guessed right, we have another marvelous infused water recipe for you today. Strawberry, lemon and green tea infused water. So let me introduce you to the benefits one can expect from this selection. Strawberries. These potent little packages protect your heart, increases HDL, which is good cholesterol, lower blood pressure and guard against cancer. Packed with vitamins, fiber and particularly high levels of antioxidants known as polyphenols. Strawberries are a sodium-free, fat-free, cholesterol-free and low-calorie food. The bottom line is lemons contain a high amount of vitamin C, soluble fiber and plant compounds that give them a number of health benefits. Lemons may aid weight loss and reduce your risk of heart disease, anemia, kidney stones, digestive issues and cancer. And finally, green tea contains healthy bioactive compounds. These compounds can improve brain function, increase fat burning. The antioxidants may lower the risk of some cancers, contribute to the prevention of type 2 diabetes, and assist in the prevention of cardiovascular disease, also in the protection of the brain from aging and reduce bad breath. Amazing benefits. Let's get infusing. Here are the ingredients. 1 bag of green tea, 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot water, 1 lemon halved, juiced and half sliced, a handful of strawberries halved, and ice cubes for serving. Directions: place tea bag in a cup of hot water, let it steep for 5 minutes, then remove and let it cool before pouring into a jug or pitcher. Add the remaining ingredients and let it infuse for 30 minutes before serving into large glass filled with ice. So delightful. Add more to your H2O. Check out the Facebook page every Friday for refreshing infused water recipes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back. We're glad that you stayed with us. A few weeks ago, Jamie and I ranked popular music videos from the early 2000s, and we had so much fun. We did, right? So we're doing it again, but this time, oh my gosh, we'll be ranking breakfast food. You know I'm a foodie. Our team has compiled a list of breakfast foods, and we will be ranking them on a specifically created scale. So first, I'd eat it every day. It's thebomb.com. Not literally, it's the best. Number 2, finger licking good. Gotta be KFC. It's great. Number 3, it's edible. It's okay. Number 4, who eats that? Yuck. Bad. These are just malnourished people. And number 5, that is absolutely terrible. That's garbage. But no, it's not a pizza. Our only rule is that at least one food has to be in each tier. Play along with us and comment on your ranks in the comment section. Gamers, where are you? Let's do this with food.
Okay, somebody doesn't like me because I'm certain that I said I hardly ever eat breakfast.
Listen, we are going to find out what he does eat when he eats breakfast. All right. Do you eat yogurt? Oh my gosh. I know you put it in your smoothies.
All right, let's go. Yogurt, I'll eat that every day. So that would be finger looking good, right?
Finger looking good? It's not KFC. Yogurt?
Wait a minute. Finger looking good is the top one. That's what we, right. So we need to make that change. Got you. So yogurt, finger looking good.
What if you got smoothies?
Which I'm going to interpret to mean I'll eat it every day. That's fine.
No, I'd eat it every day. It's got to be the best. So this finger looking good is 2.
No, I am correct. Finger
right?
looking good is.
So we take.
Hortensia, finger looking good is the best one.
Okay, then let's put KFC beside there for breakfast. Not really. Is there hash browns there? Because hash browns are finger looking good. Tell me there's hash browns. Oh man, I love me some McDonald's hash browns.
All right, I'll take the croissants. Put them. Yes, yummy. They'll go secondary. Yeah.
Jamie, do you remember Spam?
I don't think. Well, Spam got a whole new meaning. Spam got a whole new meaning when it came to emails. Yeah.
I know. But I remember Spam as a kid. It was, you know what? I'm going to put it at the yummy. Let's put Spam. No?
No, you can put it there. I'm just going to give you commentary as you do. You can put it where Hortensia said to put it, but literally, Spam goes in the garbage. That's where we know Spam to be and belong, right?
That's in technology.
The things that you don't open, remember that?
Yeah.
You don't open it?
Because you're going to get a virus. Oh my gosh.
All right, so give me the muffins and I'll raise them to finger looking good. Blueberry muffins.
So guys, for somebody that doesn't eat breakfast, do you see how many finger licking things he's put up there already? 2. Is that bologna or is that salami? Because if it's bologna, I don't do bologna. No, I don't like bologna, y'all. So I'll put bologna at the green word. Yeah. Sorry.
We got fruit there, don't we?
It's funny.
You're terrible. We've got smoothies. Would I eat that every day? Probably not. Put it under yummy for me.
Is that a cup of coffee that I am seeing there? If that is coffee, is that coffee? No? Oh man. Man. What is it? They're laughing at me. Okay, y'all. The smoothie with the guacamole toast, that has to go right up to the top. Finger licking good. Oh, it's separate. Okay, good stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's healthy. That is healthy. I know there's a waffle oven here. Where do you think we should put waffle? Not on my
I'm not even ready for the waffle yet. I'm looking at the smoothies and I'm going to put them under yummy.
Not on my plate for the waffle lover.
Oh, you're putting the waffles on?
Not on my plate.
Okay, so that one needs to be added then. So the waffles go not on my plate, according to Hortensia.
You should see the waffle lover's face. Like, are you seriously going to do that to my waffle?
No, it's not that. I remember when the waffle wasn't on the plate, it was on the table. Anyway. And you made it, so I understand.
I see cereal. So I'm going to say it's edible. But I won't eat it every day. No. I sometimes have cereals to get weevils because I just leave them on the fridge top and I don't go back to them.
All right, the biscuits go to the edible category for me.
Yeah, but I won't do it every day. Bacon. Finger licking good.
I'm sorry, my eyes must be playing tricks on me. There's bacon there?
Right there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't make out what that looked like, to be honest with you. Okay, I got you.
Is that pancakes? That's
I'm sorry.
pancakes?
Okay, let's go. Hot dogs. Let's try the hot dogs, okay?
That's hot dog? That's a hot dog? Oh, no. Put it by the green word.
That's hot dog on cereal.
Put it by the
wow.
green word.
That's very interesting. It's a great...
Nobody's going to eat that.
Breakfast has evolved. Alrighty. So we go to garbage. I'm sorry, it's garbage.
Yes, I like that. Omelette du garbage. Ooh. What's a green thing? Is the green thing kale? Because I can't.
Spinach.
Oh, put spinach at finger licking good. Because if you have some spinach and some hash browns and some bacon, yeah. Jimmy,
I know it's good for you, but it definitely is not finger licking good.
It's finger licking good for me. Listen, when I flew and you have the buffet breakfast at Radisson in the Trinidad Hotel, Jesus, I always make sure I put my spinach on my plate. That's my combination breakfast right up there, except the muffins, because I'm a muffin girl.
It's not finger licking good. That's what I'm saying.
But it's finger licking good for I.
That's you.
Because it's sat there nicely.
I know I'll probably do that if I can. All right, we've got pancakes, don't we?
No, there's no pancakes.
So what is that fourth or fifth thing? French toast? Is that what I'm seeing? French toast. Okay, so we've got French toast. I will put French toast to, I'm not going to have that every day, but I'll put it on the yummy aisle.
Yummy's fair enough. What's that brown thing next to the dry toast? Oh my God.
That's a great description, by the way.
Oh, meatballs and beans. This is actual. We are gonna put that one next to garbage. The beans and the meatballs and the wieners.
Isn't that a Jamaican breakfast? I'm sorry.
I'm
joking. I am joking because I know that they put their heaviest meals first sometimes, so that's why I was playing around.
Provision, like Dominican provision.
And where did you put that, by the way?
Garbage.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
You want to put it somewhere else?
No, I don't want to touch it. It's fine.
The baguette next to the toast that is dry, what sort of baguette is it? Or it's just bread?
You're not serious right now.
Okay, we didn't put in the eggs. Is that the eggs next to the Johnny cake? Okay, so eggs can go at finger licking good.
I need the Johnny cakes to go yummy, please.
Okay. What is that thing that looks like pizza next to the donuts? Oh, it's bagel. Oh, so the bagel could be edible. The bagel could be edible, yeah. What's this? What's that thing? It's on the end. One more. Yeah.
Oh, jam and bread.
Oh my God, I ate that a lot as a kid. Yummy.
That's edible. But anyway, okay.
Yummy. Oh my God, they're going to edible it. Okay.
No, you can do what she wants. You can put it up to yummy. That's yummy for her.
Is that Pop-Tart?
I just don't like a lot of sugar either.
And what's there's some over easy egg on something. What is that?
I'm loving these descriptions. Oh my gosh, garbage. Garbage.
Garbage. Oh my God.
Garbage.
Oh.
Wow.
And you see that toast with the peanut butter and the sausage and the ketchup? You can throw it in the trash while you're there. Thanks. Nobody's eating that. GMSCAN Nation, tell us if you would eat that. But that combination just seemed like right after that you have to visit the loo, and no, it's not a store. But it could be a store for purchasing, yeah. Yeah. Hope nobody understands that.
I don't know, you just put it out there, so hey. I really don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So what's next on the food list? Oh wow.
Okay, so we've done everything. Oh no, we haven't.
No.
Is that garlic bread?
Oh, it could be garlic bread.
No, I mean the second one. What's the second one?
Baguette. When I'm in St. Martin, I ate a lot of baguette.
Not on my plate.
But you have to eat it first thing in the morning though, because you leave that thing The next few hours, you can whack a dog with it. It's that hard.
Wow, she says yummy. I say not on my plate.
Okay, well, put it on Jamie's plate.
No, not on my plate.
But a baguette has to be eaten first thing in the morning, and you have to, as soon as the customer representative gives you that baguette, start eating it, because it gets hard pretty fast. What is the... No, you see that thing that looks like the pancake? That was supposed to go in the garbage. No, it's right next to the dry toast. Yeah, that needs to go in the garbage. That is straight up garbage, y'all.
Have you ever been asked to eat something that you don't know what it is?
Boy.
This is what your questions are reminding me of right now. It's like, what is that thing next to? We don't know what they are.
But that brown thing, is it sugar cake? Because if it's sugar cake, it can go on the... I would eat that right after breakfast. So yeah.
No, why would anybody eat sugar cake for breakfast? My goodness, Lord.
Me? When I was extremely slim, guys, back in the day, when I was young, yeah. I'm not a kid anymore, yeah.
That hurts.
I had ice cream for breakfast, cookies for breakfast. This was in my 20s. I had chips for breakfast. Not a weight gain.
I know that we're Sugar City, right? But come on, this takes it to a whole other level.
Yummy. Put it right there. Put it right there, yeah.
Oh my
Yummy.
gosh, that's terrible.
The toast can go at not on my plate. It looks extremely dry. And there's a certain person that likes dry toast. He's looking so frustrated, like, why am I putting it? Actually, is that you?
Wow.
And the Pop-Tarts. Are those Pop-Tarts? Oh, crumpets? Oh, crap. Oh. Y'all, finger licking good. Yeah. My co-host is like, attention.
If I were at 327 restaurant, there's no way I would take anything from any of you guys right now. Absolutely not. Are you kidding? Wow.
Why? That's so good.
No Studio 327 restaurant at all.
Listen.
Wow. All right, so that's it. We've ranked them, and we're going to review them right now.
Wow.
Here's the big review.
GMSK Nation, what were your reviews? How did you rank these breakfast items that we had on display? Let us know in the comments. So we're going to review our tiers. So in the KFC segment, or the KFC section.
No, there's none of that. We've got finger looking good.
We've got yogurt. We've got hash browns. Jamie chose a blueberry muffin. We have the oh gosh. Ooh,
the whatchamacallit? Is that what we're going to call it?
No, I'm trying to get the name of a bread. We have the oat bread, or the 5-grain bread with avocado. We have bacon. We have spinach. We have eggs, and we have crepes. Jamie, you can take the yummy segment.
Oh, so wait, how many do we need in each category? Only one. At least one. Okay, so then we can leave that the way that it is then. I don't have any issues with that.
Never.
Well, the spinach I do have an issue with, to be honest with you.
Don't. I can't believe the person that's down in the spinach. I'm hurt.
Sugar cake for breakfast doesn't work either. Sugar cake, oh, you know what? Here we go. Sugar cake for breakfast, garbage. Thank you very much.
Anyway,
you're sweet enough. Remember that? You are sweet enough, okay?
It's going to be garbage in my stomach, though.
No doubt.
I'm eating it. Okay. I think the yummy section can stay. Who would you move from the yummy section?
Spam.
Spam was the hit when I was a kid going to school.
Not on my plate. That's not going there.
Oh my gosh, this is rough.
You're lucky it didn't end up in the garbage. All right. We're going to raise it? We're not raising anything.
No time.
Are you kidding me?
No time. Okay. We can move. No.
That's torture, by the way.
We can move the waffles, because I did a good job making the waffles, to it's edible. I feel sorry for the person that likes waffles. He still doesn't like where it is. He thinks it should be all the way to the top where it is finger licking good. Yeah.
Wow. Finger looking good.
Yeah.
No, I'm content with that first row. I'm fine with it. All right, so that's it. I guess my breakfast is over. I didn't have any yet, so that works out for me. Right?
What's in the garbage? Stay in there. Except sugar cake. That needs to be reviewed. Guys, tell me what you think in the comment. More Good Morning SKN in a bit. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Welcome back to GOOD Morning SKN. It's time now to let you know what's happening. So first up on the list is the development certification course. Are you interested in web development but don't know where to start? Well, Xavier Shaw, a son of the soil, has a solution for you. With over 10 years of web development experience, he has launched his very own 5-week web development certification course. The course includes one-on-one mentoring, 2-hour sessions, and 2 sessions per week. You learn mobile-first design, user authentication, cloud deployment, and so much more. So for more information, visit zav.space. That's ZHAV.SPACE for more.
Indeed. And the Agri-Night Market is back. The Ministry of Agriculture is teaming up with the Small Business Development Center to host the Back to My Roots Agri-Night Market. Back to My Roots. Registration opens Monday, the 6th February, and forms will be available at the Ministry of Agriculture, the Public Market, the Department of Agriculture, the GREET, and the Department of Marine Resources. A mere $10 is your registration fee. This night market is being held on Thursday, the 23rd February 2023 at the Bastille Public Market from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Stay tuned to the Ministry's Facebook page for more exciting updates.
All right, and going down the list, Sasha the Artist Art Academy is back and better than ever before. If you didn't know, this is a weekly after-school art program that includes drawing, painting, sculpting, and a whole lot more. 2023 enrollment is open now, and there are programs available for the following 3 age groups: 4 to 6 years old, 4 to 6-year-olds rather, 7 to 12-year-olds, and 13 to 16-year-olds. Right? Register via Sasha the Artist Studio. Get this right again. SashaTheArtistStudio.com or call 665-5458 for more information.
That's funny though. 4 to 6-year-old, you old.
Wow, hey.
And that could be a new schoolyard jam. How old are you? 7? You old.
Well, wait until they ask you.
Listen, it's Friday. Anything goes.
All right, so we're going to talk about the guests for Monday. On Monday, we'll be speaking with the Bureau of Standards, discussing various aspects of the draft regulations with special attention to the labeling of goods. So Mr. German Mike, Head of Standardization, will be here.
Yes, and we will also be speaking to someone from the Nevis Disaster Management Department on monthly multi-hazards awareness campaign. Jacob Gumba, Senior Communications Officer.
All right, this is where we are about to leave you, but of course, as I like to do, I like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch us. Wouldn't be the same without you, so thanks again. Inviting you, of course, to tune in daily to find a little bit of everything for everyone, and encouraging you to get your friends and family members to watch. I joked about getting your enemies to watch, but you really don't have to, because if they know that you're watching, they'll watch anyway, because they want to be like you, right? All right, so remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube at Studio 327 Inc., and on Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. And when I checked the site yesterday, our YouTube page, I thought about taking a picture because at that precise moment, we actually had 869 likes. Ooh. Or area code. I thought that was kind of cool. So here we go, 869 subscribers, rather. So you know what to do to subscribe. Check out our website at www.studio327inc.com to learn more about GMSKN and Studio 327.
My favorite part, or is it? It's Friday though, yo. So leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. As I always say, if you know a guest and you want them to be a guest on our show, you contact us. See you on Monday at 8 a.m. when you will wake up as the rooster crow and start your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Thank you for watching and have yourselves a great weekend. Don't forget, we see you on Monday. Bye, guys.